Pakistan take on West Indies in what is seemingly a dead rubber in terms of the World Test Championship. The Big Bash, SA T20, BPL are all in full flow. But today we are here to discuss something very different. Of course, as you can probably tell from the description, we are here to talk about the Champions Trophy squads because let's face it, that's the topic in focus right now. So, Fardin, Shagor, welcome to today's episode of Jaa Taa. Sorry for the big break. I'm apologizing, although I was the only one who was available. But
That's what I was gonna say. Man's apologizing. We've had to ask Shagor for like 4 weeks now. But this guy busy on this day, busy on that day, this, that,
no,
all that. And then
Shagor had something big going on in terms of let's not specify, but in terms of medical reasons, bigger than you.
that is true. That is true. That
You
is
had your
valid.
own
That
medical
is
reasons, but
I
his
I have
his ones
I
were more
understand.
serious.
His ones were more serious. That is true. And then Alvi's out there catching feelings because we're hosting events. Hosting our live shows when it's like 4 a.m. in Australia. But what can we do? We can't do anything about that. But no, boys, good to be back. I think we've had a couple of episodes on Facebook over the last couple of weeks. But it's good to get back to our YouTube. I'm just gonna put it up on our Facebook right now, just so some of those people can come in if if people are awake and stuff like that. How's it been though for you guys? How's everything going, lads?
As good as it can be, I suppose.
Why is Shagor smirking? What's going on? This guy's got
A
he's got
lot
something
has
to
been
hide.
going on behind the scenes. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, Jata is a distraction from all those chaos. So good to be back.
Sajid Khan, Noman Ali, Noman Ali. Yeah,
Make them president.
make them president. I actually think this whole shift in mentality slash how they prepare pitches in Pakistan has been probably their biggest blessing out of the end of 2024, because these dead tracks, roads, whatever it is that they were producing was not doing anything for them. Um, the next question is Babar Azam the biggest fraud ever? Is he a fraud cricketer?
I think everyone's allowed to go through a slump. I think Babar's still done enough to prove himself, and everyone's allowed a slump every now and then. It's I
I
think
mean,
Pakistan would rather they win these matches than have flat tracks where Babar scores 200 and they go
hmm,
nowhere. Babar was
yeah,
scoring a century almost every game when they were playing those tests on flat tracks against England, New Zealand, whatever. Doesn't matter, right? You're
hmm,
losing all those, but you're not even able to
yeah,
draw most of those games. You're losing most of them.
yeah,
So what's the point?
yeah. No, I think I don't know how you guys look at it, but I saw the 4 wickets that Sajid Khan got in quick succession early on. Looked like pretty much no shots offered. Like the West Indies players might as well have not offered a shot to the ones that they got out to. It looked like that, and it exposed a very um, big weakness in the West Indies batting, which I think they also missed with the selection that they had, where they went without both Amir Jangu and Joshua Da Silva, who I think, at least in the Caribbean, are two really good players of spin. So um, to not pick two of your better batters of spin in a condition that you know is probably going to turn from ball one was rather puzzling, and especially because they even themselves opened with Gudakesh Moti on day one. And this might have been the first time West Indies actually opened the bowling with the spinner.
And three specialist spinners, mind you,
Yeah,
not two,
yeah,
three.
not three. Yeah.
Crazy. All right, let's start with the Champions Trophy squad discussions. And here we go. Hope you guys can see the screen.
Yep.
We're starting with India. No surprise there because there's the most recently announced squad. And Shagor, your thoughts so far?
I was reading a bit of news about like which players might get selected and whatnot. So most of the news outlets and all the sources almost got it right. Uh, I see all the names which were supposed to be, apart from maybe a couple, as in Yashasvi Jaiswal was debatable. Not in my opinion, in like the news that I've like read.
Mm-hmm.
Yashasvi Jaiswal and maybe Kuldeep Yadav.
Yeah.
So Kuldeep mostly because of fitness and like time away from the game, and Yashasvi because he hasn't yet played an ODI. So picking him for a Champions Trophy squad is a bold selection. Now, from personal point of view, I think yeah, both are justified because Yashasvi has shown enough in T20 internationals as well as tests with like how he plays that he can easily, nail down that opening spot if given a chance, of course, because Gill and Rohit Sharma have been doing very good at the top. Coming to what's the other one?
No, I mean, I think
Kuldeep.
there's,
Yeah,
yeah, Kuldeep. Yeah, yeah.
but I'm just confused because this one says it has. Yeah, okay, yeah, Mohammad Shami. He was
Mohammad
also
Shami.
injured, so similar reasons because. But I think he has played enough of the T20s, Mustaq Ali and 2, 3, 50 over games, so
Yeah.
he's fit enough. But yeah, that's a risky move still because he's not yet tested in internationals in terms of his fitness levels and stuff. But yeah, his experience will count.
And we know what kind of a beast he is when it comes to ICC tournaments. So
Highest wicket taker in the last World Cup.
no real doubt when it comes to that. Uh, Fardin, coming to you. One player who will, again, a couple of players who will always feel their heart done when it comes to ICC tournaments. In this case, it's Ravi Bishnoi and Sanju Samson. Ravi Bishnoi was carried as the go-to wrist spinner for India after the last World Cup, and then again he gets snubbed for someone else who is more experienced. This has happened to him time and again. Sanju Samson, no one can justify what keeps happening to him. Somehow, every time an ICC tournament comes around, he doesn't make the cut.
Yeah, I think with Samson, I was reading about it that BCCI wanted to know why he hadn't played any part in the Vijay Hazare Trophy for Kerala. But more than that, I think this is actually quite annoying, I say, as a player, especially because he has done nothing wrong. He's done everything that was asked of him at a time when India weren't even able to play Rishabh Pant. He was there, he's done it all, and he was the first choice. So uh, I think, I mean, KL Rahul kind of plays on the back of the fact that he was one of the guys that was doing well in Australia, even though it was in the tests format. But I think they kind of back those guys that they have seen and been around, especially in ICC tournaments. And Rahul's been there and thereabouts, especially as their backup keeper, etc. Shreyas Iyer, same thing. Everyone thought he was kind of out of the mix. Everyone thought, he wasn't uh, going on a very, I guess, like good relationship with the BCCI, if you can say. So it seems like all of the dust has settled on all of those, and yeah, I think one guy who's probably quite lucky in the fact that Ashwin has retired is Washington Sundar because he's pretty much become the go-to guy now. There's been a lot
Which,
of talk
to be
about.
fair, he should have been the go-to guy in white ball cricket for years now.
Yeah, no, I mean, since he debuted, what, 2018, 16, 18,
Late 17, I think. Yeah.
late 17. Yeah, I mean, you could always see that he had the skills and he had everything, especially in white ball cricket from 2017 to when he got dropped out of nowhere because all of a sudden Ashwin was back in the mix and stuff. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's there. A lot of chat around Karun Nair. What do you guys make of that?
again, as Shagor spoke about Jaiswal, Jaiswal hasn't made his debut yet. It's very interesting that Karun Nair also hasn't made his ODI debut yet. So to expect him to, be brought in as a 33-year-old possible debutant in an ICC tournament, super unlikely.
Yeah.
So more okay. Let's say Karun Nair is in the starting 11. Who is he replacing?
Forget
No,
starting 11. Even if he
No, no.
comes into the
I mean,
squad, who is he replacing in the 15? Even that's difficult.
no, you would
like
have to.
let's say Akshar Patel, just for like, yeah, just for debate's sake. Now I'm saying whose position is he gonna take in the batting order?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going Rohit, Gill, Kohli,
You can't get
Shreyas.
out of this maze,
and then
brother.
Shreyas Punt. That's it.
Wait,
Are you gonna play
punt,
Punt?
or you're taking punt in the 11 instead of
Uh,
Rahul?
I think so. I mean, I'm
Oh,
pretty sure they're gonna play Punt
I would take
because
Rahul, man.
they're always Punt will not get dropped unless he's doing like absolutely horrendous because they're gonna be like expected. That's a
And
given.
yeah, I mean,
Like
I
you
mean
can
that
see.
that's what gets Pant selected always. Like I don't even get this. Pant is always in contention whenever these tournaments come up, regardless of whether he performs super consistently or not. The fact that he wasn't even in the last World Cup, no one missed him, by
Yeah.
the way.
No. Yeah. Exactly.
In the
Yeah.
T20 World Cup, he had his moments, but again, it wasn't all that significant. In the ODI World Cup,
How
literally no
many
one missed him.
ODIs? How many ODIs did India play in 2024? Or even how many ODIs did Sanju
Literally
Samson play?
six, and three of which were after the T20 World Cup. So the first three, no one even took seriously. In one of which, Sanju Samson got a century in South Africa, by the way.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the other three was that series loss in Sri Lanka after 27 years.
I feel like a lot of people are saying that Samson's dropping actually has to do with the fact that he didn't play Vijay Hazare because India's now that they have lost two series back to back, they're kind of um, you know cracking down hard on these things. But from what I've seen on X, at least, that Sanju Samson did write an email to KCA, Kerala Cricket Association, and then they dropped him from the squad because he said he couldn't attend the practice sessions or whatever. So these things keep happening in South Asia at least, which is just absurd because I mean these players keep doing it day in and day out. Oh, Sanju Samson didn't play at ODI in 2024,
When was that South Africa series? Was that end of 2023 then?
end of 2023,
End of
end of
2023.
20. He scored 108. Yeah,
108, yeah. So
yeah.
again, there were only three matches effectively then for India in 2024, which again, three matches, you don't select Sanju Samson, you cannot be mad at him for not scoring, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And more
Yeah,
importantly,
no,
I really
100%.
felt that this is where India missed out. They should have had an ODI series against Bangladesh after that test series. Bangladesh are a far better, even today, no matter what happens, Bangladesh are a far better ODI side than they are a T20 side. And the
Exactly.
immediate next ICC tournament was an ODI tournament. Why would you
Yeah,
not host Bangladesh for an ODI tournament, ODI series instead of a T20
yeah.
ICC?
It's right. It's like it's the same way they used to run those warm-up series versus Sri Lanka. Like right, like they could have just had that kind of a bat off in a way between some players to decide, who gets what position in the squad. So um, yeah, I think that's good. Akshar Patel, obviously, I think he had a baby, plus he was overlooked for the Test series in Australia. To to see him back is really good. Especially, I think they've also said he's the vice captain. So
But
um,
they announced Gill on Quick Info. They mentioned that Gill is going to be the vice captain officially.
interesting. So
And
maybe Akshar is in the T20s. Maybe I'm
T20,
messing it up. Yeah, yeah, it might be that.
because they're no longer considering Hardik. I don't know what happened with that whole thing, but they're no longer considering Hardik for captaincy. They just want him to be a free bird and play his own way.
Play his own way. Yeah.
That's fine. But with Shreyas, I wanted to mention that Shreyas, I think inevitably he would end up getting selected because he
Hmm.
actually had a great 2023 World Cup, which didn't
Yeah,
get talked about just because he had a bad final, which again, it's just one game at the end of the day, right?
yeah, yeah,
And more importantly, Shreyas Iyer is the best player of spin in India right now.
yeah.
Any format, he's the best player of spin.
100%, 100%. No questions asked.
And all the other players are really struggling in spin, especially Virat and Rohit.
No, spot on. I think I agree with you 100% on that, especially because from what Shreyas Iyer has faced in the media with the lead up to almost every series or every tournament is Shreyas Iyer can't play the short ball. Shreyas Iyer can't play body line in a way. And he's overcome all of that, right? To kind of have a really stellar 2023 Cricket World Cup. And, having a bad final doesn't define your career, doesn't define what you have done in the 9 matches prior to that, right? So, no, I think very well deserved. And the only thing was that probably there was a lot of chatter about him falling off with the BCCI right after the World Cup and all that between him and Ishan Kishan, etc. So yeah, it is what it is.
Shagor, we know that Shreyas Iyer currently is averaging 325 in the Vijay Hazare Trophy. When that happens, how can you even take those numbers seriously anymore?
you know, uh, Karun Nair, I think he averages like 751 or something.
751.
Yeah, he just got out once and he scored like 5 centuries and what 250s or something, 6 centuries.
That's great. Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
Rakimul, Karun Nair made his debut in ODIs. He played two
Oh,
ODIs.
okay.
I
Oh,
think
okay.
versus Zimbabwe, maybe
Yeah,
something. I
yeah,
don't
I must have missed it. Sorry. Yeah, that
know.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, these numbers.
when they used to send Faiz Fazal opening versus Zimbabwe.
I think Faiz Fazal even got a half century in his last outing
Yeah,
and never
he
never seen
got.
again.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah, I think those numbers because especially the sides from the I think northeast like what Assam, not Assam, Shillong or some other places like
Tripura.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're just starting to learn how to play cricket now. So it's difficult to put the blame on them for not performing as well. But these numbers, that's why they don't reflect the true quality of the game. Because some teams
Yeah.
you play against, you score 200. Other teams you can't score like 50. Like today, I think Karun Nair in the semi-final, he couldn't score. He scored 21 and they lost. I was just looking. Yeah, it's the final actually. Yeah, he just scored 21. But
Against
yeah, anyways, he did score 5 centuries, so kudos to him. But unlucky.
unlucky.
Need to put something for the man, man. He scored 500s in the last
No, no,
six
no,
games.
100% credit where it's due, right? But especially like Rakimul said, to bring in someone who has been out of the system and yeah, maybe he's dropping and everything was not justified when it did happen. But end of the day, reality is if you're going to come into the discussion for selection, either you set the stage alight in a position where no one else is performing, or you do really well in international series as leading up to the tournament. That's how you get selected. I think if you were to pick a bolter, that's how you pick a bolter in the squad, right?
But to take the risk of dropping Siraj when you know that both Shami and Bumrah have
Mm,
serious injury concerns, and Siraj is still one of the highest rated ODI bowlers, by the way. So,
yeah.
what's up with
They
that?
went they went for what I think what Sagar was saying before that they went for the factor that Shami has what 12 years of ODI cricket experience. Shami's been there, done that. Shami's back now. And then Arshdeep is like our left arm option. So he gives us like that extra different angle to go with the two main seamers. So Siraj just kind of takes the bait there, takes the kick there. But I agree. I think, especially in tournaments, Siraj always tends to find one day where he just makes it his day and sets the stage alight, right? So especially with the opponents that they are facing. I would have probably said that he's likely to find a good day somewhere in those fixtures, right?
But no Sri Lanka.
Uh,
Maybe that's what
Maybe
inspired the
no Sri
decision.
Lanka.
No
Yeah,
Sri
no Sri
Lanka.
Lanka. So I think that played into it. But Bangladesh, Pakistan, New Zealand, you never know. Like especially on those dead wickets, sometimes that can happen towards like the end of the tournament. Never know. He can stay dead alive. So, what do you guys make of? I guess the whole composition of the squad. Like, are they balanced in every aspect, or would you, if there was one name you would have probably picked over someone here, what would that be for you?
Rakim.
Over someone is difficult. Like I can think of a lot of names who deserve to get picked, but over
Mm,
anyone, for example, let's say Samson over Pant. If I do that, then I have no left-handers in the top order. Zero.
hmm
Because Jaiswal
Yeah,
isn't going to make the first 11. But you also
no,
need Jaiswal to be there because you also need a reserve opener to be there. And you're thinking
right,
that despite the exposure that Gaikwad has had in ODIs, Jaiswal is still
hmm
a better batter than him,
right,
or a better
right.
pick than him. So I don't really see anyone who, you know, can replace any of the names on board right now.
Yeah,
For
no, fair.
example, I just want to take this comment as well. Nitish Reddy should have been selected. Nitish Reddy, again, they already have three all rounders. How can they make way for a fourth one? Nitish Reddy
Yeah,
makes for a very
no,
good backup, but he can't make it
yeah.
into this squad.
No, I mean when Hardik is fit and firing, and there's Akshar Patel and Washington Sundar, there's no space. You can only pick 15 guys. So
I would have maybe picked Ravi Bishnoi in place of Kuldeep Yadav. That's a contentious call, but that's what I feel. That Bishnoi is a better, I would say, wicket-taking option. Like he has been taking wickets this year, and whenever he got a chance,
hmm
Kuldeep has done well too. But I feel Bishnoi hasn't been given as many chances as he would have liked. So I would have wanted to see him in this squad.
I would have even considered dropping, what's his name, Jadeja, but Jadeja's record in UAE is actually really good.
Hmm. I actually thought I was actually thinking about that too. That do you really need that many finger spinners? But I'm thinking about the fact that especially on wickets where you kind of need to bowl into the wicket rather than more flight. Those bowling into the wicket surfaces is perfect, tailor made for Jadeja, right? So that's where he comes in really well, and especially like they know Aksar. I wouldn't even be surprised if Aksar is batting five at some point in this tournament, because they tend to do that with him. I think Dravid has kind of built that culture around Aksar that he's the crisis man slash the guy you go to if you need like a savior kind of. So you know, if Nathan Smith gets a couple early, never know what can happen.
But this external pressure on India, sorry, we're taking a bit more time on India because there's another important thing to talk about. And that's the external pressure on Rohit, Kohli, and Gautam Gambhir.
I would say this is the last straw for Rohit and Kohli. If they don't do well in the tournament, or by my feeling is even if they do well, the narrative might be that thank you, you've done your part. Pretty similar to what T20 World Cup said it was, you know, retire after the final, no matter what the result is. Uh, Call it there. Funny thing is, I think after the third test, we posted on Bagaradda that due to Ravi Ashwin retiring and all the commotion around that, there is a possibility that Virat Kohli might have retired after the MCG test. And this was not based on just whatever, this was actually based on like solid rumors. But turned out it was actually Rohit Sharma who was going to retire, not freaking Kohli. So I actually got that completely wrong, but I mean, like,
But end of the day, none of them did, right?
none of them
So it's all
did
the same.
exactly. So what tells me is the narrative to them is you go play this tournament, you don't do well or you do well. If you do exceptionally well, then okay, you can stretch it. If you don't do well, that's it. And I think Gambhir, I don't know Gambhir's situation, but I'm eager to hear what you guys think because these are big contracts that they sign him for, especially with the number of years on the contract. So getting letting him go this early in the piece would obviously have some financial um I don't know what the word is. I'm forgetting the word, but
Repercussion.
Repercussions, yeah.
repercussions for BCCI, right? But given the amount of money that they have on hand, they might not be shy of doing it.
Sagar, what do you think?
About what Kohli, Rohit,
Uh,
and Gambhir issue?
Particularly Gambhir issue.
Gambhir issue. So I think if India does like not good, I'm not using the word bad.
Well,
If they don't do as well,
what is our definition of not good?
yeah, if they
If
don't
it's a group stage exit,
yeah, if they don't make it to the semis, then for sure there's some X coming up for some of the players and coaching staff.
But if India gets stopped at the semis, isn't that bad as well for India? Like just thinking about the fact that they made the last two finals pretty convincingly.
Yeah, but then if they go on to win, then like everyone will forget where this like ended up in the group stage. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, even if they get out in the semifinals, I think there might be some access coming up for those coaching staff and some players. But yeah, Kohli and Rohit, I, I think they if they do bad, they're gonna sit in a table and they're gonna say, okay, you have represented us for a long time. You have the honor of just stepping away and not letting us take away that
drop.
opportunity. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that might be a call. But yeah,
Which
hopefully they do well
which the
because
Bangladesh cricketers couldn't do because they're so stuck
yeah,
with fucking playing.
I would have liked Bangladesh not to be in the same group as India, but it is what it
But
is.
that's what sells the TV rights, man. That's what
Hmm.
sells.
I don't know how true this is, but they need to stop determining these coaching positions in terms of who makes controversial statements or who makes bold statements in media because I don't know what is going on with these decisions.
Kevin Peterson next coast might be, but yeah, I
Not
think he
batting
would.
coach, but as head coach.
Given that Rohit and Kohli don't have many years left, so he might have a chance. Otherwise, I would have said there would be friction between the top players and
And the
Kevin because they used
coaches,
to play
yeah.
together and had a lot of banter, so they might not have the
Yeah,
same thinking.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Guys like John Wright and what's his name, Gary Kirsten, they got selected for actual coaching merits, actually completely different basis
But
based on what these
that's
guys are
how
getting
the
selected on.
no, 100%. I agree with you 200% because but that's what the market is now like nowadays. Guys are getting selected based on what they say more than what they have done, which is why you see Toby Radford literally spending 7, 8 months of the year doing one-on-one coaching sessions in England, whereas he should probably be at every single franchise tournament as batting coach. But he's not because he's not the one on Instagram or Facebook or X or whatever it is giving interviews or calling up Wisden to his house to give interviews and put out controversial statements, right? Like that's the reality of it.
20 teams playing in the T20 World Cup, but this man who was such an integral part of West Indies winning the 2012 T20 World Cup gets no contract. Toby Radford.
Absurd, absurd,
You
absurd.
tell me how many people even know for a fact that he was in that coaching panel? No one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, probably not any, not many. Yeah, probably not many at all. No, yeah. And
A
I mean, there's
non-Indian
like
head coach
five.
is it possible under Jaa Shah? Bro, Jaa Shah is now somewhere else. Jaa Shah is technically not going to handle BCCI all that much after this.
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah,
lot of it is
yeah,
going to be Roger Binney.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Jesha is basically backseat now. He just discusses with himself about what BCCI and ICC should do.
Kesha's role in BCCI was to get them an ICC tournament, and he has done that. He literally went
Yeah,
on stage and promised it, and it happened.
yeah.
We're not going to discuss how it happened,
How it happened? Yeah,
but it happened, so it's
he said
done.
it will
His role
happen.
is done.
He's made it happen. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. I think we can move to the next squad.
Next one. So this is why I'm glad that ICC posted Bangladesh and India back to back, because these two are going to face each other on their first game.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, I think it's a big advantage for Bangladesh, the fact that they get to play their first game in UAE before moving to Pakistan, so they can get rid of the whole UAE leg early. They don't have
Hmm.
to travel back and forth, because even if they make it to the top fours, yeah, I know, it sounds very unrealistically optimistic, but again, they make it to the top four, it's a solid chance that they'd never have to go to play in Dubai, because
Dubai.
India
Yeah.
are just as likely to qualify.
Yeah.
So, Shagor, again, in the context of both these teams, I want to take this question. What should be India's probable 11 or starting 11, given that they're playing their first game against Bangladesh?
Rohit, Gill, Kohli, Iyer, mm, Rahul, Hardik. That's how many? Four, five, six. Bumrah, Shami, Arshdeep, Kuldeep,
You're missing the number
and
seven. Who takes the number seven spot, Akshar or Jadeja?
Jadeja.
Jadeja, okay. Yeah, that's
So I'm
fair.
basically dropping uh, the wicketkeeper Rishabh Pant instead of and picking KL.
Hmm.
Makes sense. I would probably still pick Pant, because if we're not playing Akshar Patel, they will not have a floater up top who is left-handed, and
Yeah.
India seem to like having that option these days.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think in modern day cricket, you need a floater option, whether it's Aksar or whether it's Rishabh Pant. I think you can do with. I think I agree with you guys that you can do with probably one of them, depending on maybe the opposition or who you're facing.
And because they're facing Bangladesh, I think India won't be too concerned with their possible number eight. They may even go without an out and out number eight, as in they may go without Washington Sundar and decide to play all three pacers
All
with
three
Kuldeep
pacers.
Yadav
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's a better bet because if you're really needing your number eight,
against
to come
Bangladesh.
out and bat against Bangladesh, it's probably not ideal. But I mean, like that, and that's not to um look at Bangladesh in a low light or anything. That's just given the reality of what the cricket spectrum is like. Because we're talking about Bangladesh before we dive deep into this squad. A lot of noise in the media today after we woke up. Um, Franchises, players posting support because someone was getting booed by the crowd. Boys, what do you make of it? Might be the first country in the world where I've seen this happen, where people feel like they need to send out pieces of support because it might be the first time in history that a player has gotten booed by the crowd.
While on the topic of India, are we forgetting that Sanjay Manjrekar had to ask the Mumbai Wankhede Stadium to behave for Hardik Pandya?
Hardik
And
Pandya,
yet,
yeah,
no one can. We can't imagine people posting these things in favor of Hardik Pandya, who just a couple of months after that won India T20 World Cup.
yeah,
Just throwing that out
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. Absurd, absurd. And this is my thing. Like when you're mentally that weak, you cannot play international cricket. You cannot do well in international cricket. I'm sorry.
If anything, I don't even blame Lito. I felt like Liton actually handled it fairly well. It's this
Yeah, he just looked
sudden
at them and
external
just like,
reaction that
yeah,
was completely
that
unnecessary.
this whole. But now he's gone and he's reposted their status and he said, "Oh,
He
thank
has
you to
to.
my."
If
Yeah,
they
I know he
posted,
has
he
to.
has
Yeah,
to.
yeah, 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 yeah. I guess yeah, that's true. That aspect is there. But yeah, I guess we talked about the Bangladesh squad in general. But like I said, the Daily Tundas got 100. Tanzit Tamim also got 100. So you kind of validated in your choice of who you pick. The next day, Liton Das didn't score a run, Tanzila Tantarim still scored a run. So you're kind of validated in a way that, the one you went with, or the one you're backing, is still the one that's in form, because they both seem to be performing, right? So that's there, and I think that's probably the biggest talking point in the Bangladesh selection.
But Shagor,
What's
here's
yeah.
one thing I just wanted to ask you. I never
Yeah.
thought I would say this, but how relieved are you to see Mushfiqur Rahim keeping again in the BPL?
Yeah, uh, not seeing Shanto as a keeper for a change was good. So now he can focus more on his batting, which we need in the tournament. But
And we
yeah,
need Mushfiq keeping as well.
yeah, Mushfiq keeping has ensured that he will be keeping in the Champions Trophy. So that's a good sign, and it's always good to see him behind the stumps because you never know when it's gonna be the last time you see Mushfiq, especially behind the stumps with his history of keeping and not allowing other people to keep. So yeah, we should rather enjoy this. So I liked it. But Kibriya might have a different thing. He's marking at the back there. Man, let it
Man,
out.
I'm tired of this guy wicket keeping because he's gonna mess up another run out or another stumping or
Man,
something like
I
that.
saw his fingers. All 10 of them were
All,
taped in some way,
all,
heavy taping
yeah.
or a bit of taping, and still he's keeping. So
You know
it's
what it is?
passion
It's
and also
insecurity.
it's, I
It's
don't know, like
insecurity.
stubbornness.
It's insecurity because he
Yeah.
knows once he gives it up, all he has to fight with another player for is batting. And if someone else is batting better, and because Tamim Iqbal Khan is not the captain anymore, someone else might get picked. Like realistically, if Mushfiq wasn't keeping and someone's batting better than him, I might as well be inclined to pick him because Shami's gonna get him with an in swinger either in the first delivery or the 10th delivery. So might as well cut that BS out.
And I mentioned this before, but immediately after the Champions Trophy, I think we have a Zimbabwe series. Uh, I don't know if we have ODIs in that, but I would earnestly request BCB to organize an ODI series and give Mushfiqur Rahim and Mahmudullah Riyad a proper farewell and just end this BS right now because
just
otherwise we're going to
yeah,
be stalling till the 2027 World Cup, which I don't want
yeah,
to see.
yeah,
I like the fact that I like it when players get actual farewells, which they do deserve. It's just
yeah,
that it's better off sooner than later. Otherwise,
yeah.
sometimes just for the sake of this farewell, they keep stalling.
No, no, it's pointless because all it does is it just lengthens the process, eats up someone else's spot for another few years, and especially when you're going through this whole thing of wanting to transition to a new generation, although Bangladesh always seems like they're in transition. But if you want to blood new players, and you might as well have the average age of the squad be 25, 26 at this point. You gotta tell these guys, bro, thank you, like you gotta pull the plug somewhere. Someone has to pull the plug somewhere.
Uh, we discussed this on Facebook, but I still want to address this here. I think the issue is, as we mentioned over there as well, that Miraj cannot be dropped because even if you play Sheikh Mahdi as the bowling all rounder or the bowler who can bat because his batting has been, let's say, absent, I want to say, but the bowler who can bat and his bowling is clearly better than Miraj at this point, you still need to play Miraj as sort of a batting all rounder or a batting float. This means that you have to drop either, as you said, Rishad or Nasum, which the board would be very hesitant to do. Rishad, as a wrist spinner, can be an absolute asset in Pakistan. You don't want to go to Pakistan without a wrist spinner
Without,
when you have one in contention.
yeah,
And then there is Nasum, who has actually performed really well the last time he was in the UAE. So you'd be super tempted to have him there as well.
yeah.
Unfortunately, that is why Mahdi misses out.
It's pretty much same thing what we talked about with Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja, right? They're those bowlers that obviously give you the left arm spin option, but also they hit the wicket. They're not floated up type of bowlers. They can do it, but they're more so hit the wicket and extract something out of the pitch. So even if there's a little bit of bounce, there's a little bit of skid, there's a little bit of lowness that's in the wicket, they can exploit that. So you have to kind of back that option. And like Rahimul said, you're inclined to not drop either of those for another right arm spin because you already have that with Mehdi. Now, if Sheikh Mahdi was a proper batter, it probably would have changed the dimension of that discussion a little bit.
But I feel like that's unfair to expect from him, right? Like he's
Yeah,
doing
yeah, no,
so much better
100%.
than Miraj right now
Miraj,
with the
yeah,
ball that
yeah.
it's kind of unfair to say that your batting is what's pulling you back. It's really not.
It's how Chahal got dropped for India because they said he couldn't bat. Like, bro wasn't batting regardless. You didn't lose more than like 6 wickets most games. So he was not batting regardless. Like, still pathetic. Like, the reasons sometimes selectors come up with is so funny.
Shakur,
What's
I think it's
that?
safe to say
Yeah.
before we end this Mahedi discussion, it's safe to say that Mahedi didn't get dropped for his own fault or anything like that. It's just that the competition with spin in Bangladesh is always pretty high.
I haven't actually seen Shaq Mahadi spin a ball before. I mean, he's a very good bowler, but he's kind of a speedy customer. So,
No, but in limited overs cricket, regardless of whether we're talking about wide as an ODI or T20I, that kind of works, right? The kind of
yeah,
variation that Mahedi shows, it
he's a
works.
good bowler. It works. But I'm saying I haven't really seen him. Yeah, even Miraz for that matter. Apart from a few, rank turners and stuff, these two don't really. It's like,
Mira
yeah.
just throw down bowler at this point. Straight.
It's like Akil Hossain of West Indies, like similar type, just kills the ball.
No, but Akil knows what he's doing.
Akil knows.
Akil's brand was based on being a throwdown bowler. Miraj, he was supposed to dominate with his spin, but then we realized that when you change the Mirpur wickets, you change Miraj as well.
Freaking guy can't do anything. Holy, this guy just bowls straight. Like, at least do something different with the ball. My God.
I would rather, again, it's the same with that Babar Azam discussion we had a bit earlier. I would rather Miraj become completely useless than we go back to those pitches of Mirpur.
You're 100%. Honestly, no, thank you. I would.
Miraj
give
can
it a lot
completely
of
rediscover himself as a batter. I believe in him. I don't believe in those pitches.
and the wins you get out of it to build a winning culture, making it a habit. Fucking.
You remember how 2021 UAE was supposed to have similar pitches and whatnot? We all know how that turned out.
Freaking hell. You beat Australia and New Zealand at home, and then you get absolutely by even Scotland. By even Scotland.
Right. By then, Australia Bangladesh T20 series was one of the worst T20 series, like in terms of pitches I've ever seen international. Like ever.
100%.
And bro, we were making videos of Mustafizur bowling on those wickets with random BGMs, where I will not forget that phase. I will not.
Everything needs a BGM.
Yeah, and we're criticizing Miraj, who, to be fair, could have dominated on those wickets, but he didn't even get a chance. So tough luck. His T20 record would have been much better. Anyways, will you guys miss Hassan Mahmood? Again, this is something we addressed on our Facebook Live. Go watch that as well. Yes, he will be the one bowler. I think both Fardin and I mentioned that he's the one sure shot entry who we're gonna miss.
Yeah, definitely. I think he brings a lot of different aspects into the game with his bowling. So, end of the day, like I said, you can only pick 15, and unfortunately, he was probably the 16th name on the sheet. So,
he might even make it. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Of course.
It's not far away. Things can happen. Something might come up. The morning of, he's probably not playing. At night, he might be playing. You never know.
We need more players of his, not skill, but off the field skills, as in how to not try to get the limelight off the field, to avoid controversy and stuff. Just lead a simple life, no controversy. People will like you.
Give us less to post about. We don't mind.
Hmm.
But
That's a good point.
I really hope that they have this one strategy ready that whenever, whatever the situation of the game is, Shreyas Iyer comes out to bat, you release Nahid Rana.
Hmm.
Just send him out there to bowl.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
even if it's his last over, if it's his first over, doesn't matter. If the pitch is
yeah.
not favoring him, doesn't matter. Just send him out to bowl when Shreyas Iyer comes out.
You just gotta give it. You just gotta let it ride at that point, right? Like you just gotta basically take it in and say, we might get a wicket out of this. We might concede 20 runs. Let's take it up, no matter what.
Thoughts on
Uh,
Fizz's form? You talk about form with players who have something like if we have a sense of consistency or have their form actually impact their performance. With Fizz, there's no such thing as form, to be honest. Like I've never since 2015 I haven't seen anything that represents
Since
quote unquote
2015,
form.
money. 2015 was when he debuted, right?
No, sorry. I mean like since the end of 2015
Huh.
mhm,
or end of 2016 I should say, sorry, I haven't seen
mhm.
anything that's like since he lost his form, it's never been about form, it's about what he can suddenly do on the day. That is what he keeps getting picked on.
Yeah, and
And I'm not saying that's justified, but I'm saying that that's who he is right now. There's no such thing as form with
I
Fizz.
haven't really followed much of him in the BPL. You guys have more than me. So, what do you guys think of like his recent performances? Let's not say form. Like, is he
no,
doing really
I
well?
once wickets don't start, once it's not basically a dead track, ranked Turner slash spoiled wicket, destroyed, deteriorated day 10, Mirpur slash Mumbai slash Rawalpindi. Once it's not
We get
that,
the point.
he's done. He's done. He's useless. And that's what's happening in the BPL. He's just getting sent here, there, that way. And my biggest problem with Mustafiz is actually not even his bowling. My biggest problem is the fact that he doesn't even field properly. He puts in zero effort in fielding.
And that wasn't him, by the way.
Yeah.
That wasn't a problem with him when
He
he
used to
initially debuted.
actually field really well when he first debuted. I
Ekon,
agree.
he became lazy, I think.
He does not even put in a dive. He lets the ball go past him, and then he makes it look like he's chasing. And sometimes it's easy to say that when you watch off the TV, but the funny thing is, I actually watched a game live this year. For the first time, I think I watched a BPL game live, and I watched him do this live. And I said, there's no way this guy is playing international cricket with that attitude. And some might even say that's the reason he's not getting deals these days. Because end of the day, it comes down to that. Your 24 balls, 10, 12 balls, whatever it is, you bowl in a tournament or in a franchise tournament has less value than the fielding aspect. Luke Wood found out today when he won man of the match for taking 3 catches and 1 assist, basically. Like paid it off to Russell or something.
But I
Anyways,
think
like,
his selection in franchise is more to do with the fact that BCB keep calling him back for stupid series like Zimbabwe, which
yeah,
they did the
that's
last time.
yeah,
I think that
yeah,
was the last straw
that
because
yeah,
in
that's
the IPL he actually puts in a lot of effort. So
yeah,
maybe
oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
the main
yeah,
reason.
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That's true. No, that is true. In the IPL, he's a different player in the IPL. It's like you don't even know who this guy is. Yeah. You wanna move to the next?
Uh, going to
Oh,
go over this question
oh,
again. We want to say Taskin, Sakib, and Nahid Rana, but we know for a fact that Bangladesh love to play Fizz against India.
yeah, yeah,
There's this
yeah,
X
yeah,
factor going
yeah.
on always.
So, who's
They
getting
have.
the X if Fizz is playing? Sakib?
Nah, Tanzim Sakib खेल रहे.
Who is getting the X?
Taskin
You
might
can
get
drop
dropped.
Taskin, and if you drop Nahid Rana against
How can
India,
you drop Taskin with this
Taskin
form?
might get dropped. Taskin
How?
might get
no,
dropped.
they won't drop Taskin. I guarantee you, they won't
There's
drop the
no
leader of the
way
pack.
they're dropping
They won't.
Taskin, man, with this
They will
form.
Shanto will to see. Thing what's his name? Shanto will play Tanzim Sakib almost 90% sure because he wants them to get in India's face. And that's the only bowler who will get into India's face.
Fair. No, that's fair. But you also want Nahid Rana to
So
be
then
there for the pace he
exactly.
offers.
So then who is left? if you want to play Mustafiz.
I really hope they get out of this mindset that we have to play
I
Mustafiz.
hope so. I hope so because I don't think it's a valid reasoning to pick him, right? Because of what in 2015 he had this amazing series against India. No?
Yeah, he technically does have a 5-4 against India on a very good batting surface in a World Cup of all places. But again,
Mm, valid.
6 years ago, you can make selections based on that.
You can't
And
exactly.
one thing about Mashrafi, say what you will, Mashrafi knew how to captain Fizz. No one else
Yeah,
knows it as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Mashrafi
yeah,
knew it.
yeah, yeah. And this whole thing, I don't know why people keep bowling him with the new ball, man. Like, stop. He ruins the new ball, if anything.
Absolutely. 2019 World Cup, Saifuddin did a significant better job than him with the new ball, and that's why Fizz
Yeah.
was actually successful later on in the innings.
He's not a new ball bowler. If like he just ruins the new ball for other bowlers. Like there's no reason to bowl him with the new ball, and then you wonder why your bowling attack's not getting wickets. Why or why else do you think? Because your new ball, which you're supposed to make some impact with, is ruined by the second over because some guy's bowling freaking cutters from the first over, and the ball's landing in every freaking single direction.
This was my
Like,
one complaint with Otis Gibson. Like, bro, you already by this point you already have Shoriful in the squad. Otis Gibson
mm,
already had Shoriful to work with.
mm.
Why are you obsessing over trying to turn Mustafiz into this new ball swing bowler? Why?
It is completely okay for bowlers to have certain skill, like we talked about, horses for courses selection. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to play in every surface in the world, in every condition in the world. Like Sajid Khan wasn't playing freaking last month.
Not even in
Sajid
the
Khan
squad.
in the squad. He wasn't even in the squad. He's taken four for today morning. Like just whatever, man.
I think we can move on, and hopefully the other squads won't take as long. Talking about New Zealand here. Well,
Pakistan
if
hasn't announced.
Pakistan will be the last to announce, I'm pretty sure. Host team
Oh,
usually
because host team, yeah, they just
ends up
announced it, right?
announcing it late.
Yeah.
Anyways, Tom Latham gets selected again, which I am not in favor of. I don't get it.
Maybe, just maybe because he might be able to play spin. Is that a reasoning?
Could be, but it didn't work well for him in the last World Cup, which was in India.
Hmm.
So are
Ben
they gonna
Sears. Ben
are they
Sears,
gonna who are they gonna open with? Are
Conway.
you not gonna open with Conway and Will Young? Like, is that not given?
Conway and Latham. Like,
No.
No, Latham
Why?
doesn't open in ODIs.
with number five, I think
Number
he
five.
was.
4, 5, 6, yeah. Because yeah, if you open with Conway, Young, then you go Williamson, Ravindra.
There is no Williamson though.
There is Williamson.
Oh, sorry. He's there at the end. So
Has to be Williamson.
here's my hot take. If you have Williamson in the squad, I would go that 2023 route and open with Rachin Ravindra.
Yeah,
Because you have to
but
accommodate Mark Chapman and Daryl Mitchell in the middle,
that's what I was going to ask you about. Is if you
which you
open with
cannot do
Will
if you
Young?
put Ravindra in the middle, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, you have to play Mark Chapman. It's like a given at this point.
Given.
He has to play. So if Mark Chapman has to play, that means yeah, you go Conway, Ravindra, Williamson, Chapman, Mitchell, Latham, I guess. But Glenn Phillips, 7. Is that too low for Glenn Phillips? And then
No, I
8,
don't think so
Mitchell
because I don't think
Santner.
he's done enough with the bat in recent times. He
That's
might
true.
actually have to play as a bowling all rounder.
That's true. So then Phillips,
Santner, captain, come on.
Santner, Phillips, Santner, Bracewell,
Oh no, you can't have Bracewell at. Oh, you're
8,
right. You can't have Bracewell down at 9. You're having Bracewell at
8,
9, which you cannot do.
8.
No. How aren't you having
Phillips 6.
Phillips at 7?
Oh, because, yes. So Phillips, Santner,
See, you have to make a
uh,
choice between Phillips and Bracewell, and I think if it's down to number
mm,
7, it might be Bracewell ahead of
it might be
Phillips.
Bracewell ahead of Phillips. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because they both spin off spin, right? So,
Yeah.
uh, and Bracewell will probably be able to open the bowling too if needed. So, yeah, that's a good take. That's actually a good point. Make a solid point there.
Henry will be leading the bowling attack, no doubt in that.
Henry is
Yeah,
in
yeah.
good form.
Good form, very good form.
Henry, Ferguson, and Nathan Smith are the pacers, or what?
I was very surprised that Jacob
Will
Duffy
O'Rourke,
got
Will
snubbed.
O'Rourke.
Oh, sorry, O'Rourke. Yeah, no. So
Or
Smith and Sears have to sit on the bench. Maybe Lockie and Nathan Smith interchangeably they can play.
Yeah.
Ben Sears is the reserve bowler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you? I don't know, Sagar, have you seen Nathan Smith in the recent series?
I just saw his catch at the boundary against Sri Lanka
Oh,
at third
freaking
man. I
third.
think that's the catch of this like year. So
And the
yeah,
year just started.
but haven't really seen his bowling too much. But I think he's a guy who is very passionate and he gives his all. So that's what New Zealand want. And we all know New
And
Zealand don't want to change much in their side.
no,
They
no,
just
they
want to
wanna
get
back Barry.
consistent squad. Yeah.
he's a disciplined bowler and a solid number 9 who can eventually become this number 8 or even number 7 for New
Seven,
Zealand in the
yeah.
future. But that hasn't materialized yet.
Yeah. I
So I
think
don't
it'll
think they'll
take some
select him in
time
the
because
best 11 on
He's
the basis
shown
of that.
glimpses, I think, in the test.
He has against England. Yeah.
Yeah.
England, yeah. And funny thing is, he's Amelia Kerr's boyfriend. I think. Random news, but Amelia, I was like, I saw something that day, and I saw Amelia Kerr and this guy together. I was like, yo, say word, bro. Wellington, that makes sense. True.
Shagor, are you jealous?
Mm.
No, but seriously, Team Saudi, no, I don't think so. Team Saudi hasn't had an impact on any ICC tournament since the 2015 ODI World Cup. Or
I think
after
And
he
that.
was even
especially
he
in
was even
white
in the
ball
bench.
cricket.
Yeah, he
Pretty
was in
much,
the
yeah,
bench
yeah,
for
yeah.
some games.
He's almost like an advisor or a mentor in most ICC tournaments. So I don't think they'll miss him.
And I
Did you
think
see New Zealand qualifying in
I've
semifinals?
I've
I,
always
I
felt
don't
that
seem
he's
think so.
never.
I think this is a rare occasion where they don't make it to the top 4.
Hmm. Who are you calling India and Pakistan?
I'm calling India Pakistan. I'm saying that Bangladesh and New Zealand might have a similar percentage of a chance, and I'm calling India
Hmm.
Pakistan for now.
Hmm.
I think that pretty much covers New Zealand. It's just that it'll be a big responsibility for Mitch Santner to
I
manage
think
the squad.
their spin is a little bit thin, if I'm honest, because no one really turns the ball a lot. Everyone is a very skiddy slash quicker bowler, and Santner is probably the only one who turns the ball a bit more.
But their
If
spin stocks, they look very well suited for UAE,
yes,
which would be a threat
yes,
for India.
yes, that is true. Yeah.
To that point, you guys were discussing between Glenn Phillips and who as the number 7?
Michael Bracewell,
Michael
Bracewell.
Bracewell. I think Bracewell is a better number 7 than Phillips. Phillips would be a better number 6 if that's what we were discussing.
But do you think that's a big change, 6 and 7?
In a
Like,
weird way, yes.
I would keep Phillips. That's what I mean. Like the
Yeah,
all-round
you should.
package, yeah. Because especially because let's say the top order doesn't click.
Mm-hmm.
Phillips is that kind of a batsman that can put the opposition under pressure. Like he can score quick fire 50 or something like that from number 7.
But this is where I disagree. Bracewell has done that better than Phillips throughout his career. At number 7, even against India, he has this amazing century at 6 or 7. He came out, was completely under pressure, chasing a huge total, and he made a match out of it. So
Which
I
one?
think
Yeah.
this was
Punta.
back in 2023, early 2023. He did something similar in 2022 against Ireland, won an impossible game.
Yeah, that I remember. Ireland.
So he has had occasions like this multiple times. So I would
Mm,
actually think that Bracewell is better suited for that role to bat with the tail. I've seen
yeah.
Phillips bat with the tail as well, and he's not all that bad at it. But I feel like Bracewell is just out and out
Bracewell
better at
just
that.
Yeah,
yeah.
just seems harsh to drop Phillips. I'm not saying for Bracewell in general. Like
But he's
Phillips as
still
a
there. I mean, he will make it in the, if
yeah,
maybe not in the best, not in the starting 11, but he will eventually make it second or third game.
yeah.
Knowing Phillips, he will make it.
Looking at Conway's form, he might even could have made it as a wicket keeper.
He
Because
said, I told New Zealand cricket, do not consider me as a wicketkeeper ever again. He said,
Which
I'm
is
not.
again, which makes the whole snubbing of Michael Hay a little bit
Mitchell
more
Hay,
dumb.
Mitchell Hay.
Mitchell Hay, sorry, Mike Mitchell Hay, a little more dumb in my opinion. He should have
Yeah,
made it.
he should have made it 100%. Over Tom Latham, I would have picked him any day. And he's actually done well. Like,
He's done well.
we were talking about picking bolters and how you pick a bolter if you were to pick one. That's how you pick someone. Is he's actually done well in the limited opportunities that's been afforded to him, and I don't see why you wouldn't pick him over Latham any day.
And he doesn't have a fixed position in the order to the point where you can even bat him down at number 8. Not saying that you should, but you can even bat him down at number 8 if you want to as a specialist keeper. That's the
Yeah,
flexibility he offers.
yeah, yeah. Is there a snowstorm going on outside?
I can't really see outside, so I can't tell.
Hell no.
that's the storm brewing. That the storm that you see is the storm brewing because Tamim isn't playing in the Champions Trophy.
But Tamim is playing. Tanzit Tamim. Remember.
There's Tamim,
Also, Tamim is
Saqib-
playing, but behind the scenes.
I
Tamim and
I am
Saqib
kind of happy that Tamim is getting called out for this behavior, because this again, I am a fan of Tamim Iqbal the batter. I am a fan of Tamim Iqbal the captain. I am not a fan of this. This needs to get called out, and I'm glad that it is getting
No,
called out.
100%. Bangladesh, these players and their tantrums need to get called out.
With Tamim's case,
Every
it feels more than a tantrum. Like it feels
No,
like he's
it
actually running this sort of syndicate, which is very wrong.
you know how people talk about having PR agencies and running PR stunts, etc. This is like the biggest example of someone running a PR stunt,
And he's doing it openly.
and he's
Mm.
exactly yeah.
With Rohit Sharma,
Absurd.
it's more behind the scenes. With Tamim, it's very open.
Freaking Rohit Sharma's wife is crazy, bro. She just posts a random story, deletes it, and then everyone runs with it. Like that's crazy.
I
That's
am absolutely
absurd.
appalled by that whole Vidya Balan situation, because first of all, what does Vidya Balan have to do with cricket? First of all,
What did she say? Because I missed
So-
the whole saga. Can you
so
give a
Even me.
quick rundown? Quick
so,
rundown of
so
this.
she posted something. She was supposed to post something along the lines of how Rohit Sharma doesn't deserve to get dropped and whatnot. But it was a WhatsApp text that was sent to her, exact word by word what she has to post, and she accidentally ended up posting a WhatsApp screenshot of that conversation, of
No
that text that
way,
was sent to
man.
her. And then she deleted that and then reposted it on Instagram, and everyone's it's super hilarious. They're not even trying to hide it
That's
anymore.
funny. That's
What was the
so
writing though?
It was something along the lines of how Rohit Sharma is such a respected figure in Indian cricket, or how he's such a big superstar, and he has to go through this phase where he has to take shit from people. It was something along those lines.
Yeah, there's no connection,
I,
man. Vidya
I
Balan
just
cricket.
I just saw it. It was Rohit Sharma, what a superstar. To take a pause and catch your breath requires courage. More power to you, respect.
Because he dropped himself.
Because he dropped himself. That's crazy.
God.
That's
He dropped
crazy.
himself after the series was lost. Not
Pretty much.
yeah. Not
Almost
series,
lost.
yes, almost. I mean, yeah. In all single figure scores.
Moving on
So
to
we're
Group
moving on.
moving on to Group B now. Now, Afghanistan is one team who will feel like they missed out on getting to play in the UAE, because they won their last couple of
They-
series in the UAE against
Yeah.
Bangladesh and South Africa, two very strong ODI sides, mind you. So I think they'll feel like they missed out, but the squad is pretty much standard, no, Shagor?
Yeah, I think Naveed Zadran, they haven't tried a lot in white ball cricket. He started with the tests, but yeah, he's a young guy. He looks good, balls some good bouncers. So good to see him there. Farid Malik is the lefty. So that's a variety. And we all know the Fazal Haq Faruqi skills very well. He used to trouble some of our batters quite a lot.
Which caused one guy to retire.
Retire, literally retire. And it was okay. I will die on the hill that says it was valid to ask him to bat in the middle just so that he could avoid Fazal Haq Faruqi. But
I
no,
told
he
you.
had a
I
problem
told
with that.
what did I say day one? It is completely fine to ask someone to do that. The only problem in that whole segment was I don't even know who the F it came from to him because yeah, like it should always come from the team, whatever. Anyways, but you know,
And
one
now
thing
all the
I'm happy
suspects are
with
gone technically. Hatura's
now,
gone,
all the
Papun is gone, Shakib is
Papun,
gone, everyone's gone
everyone's gone.
out of the picture. We don't know
Where's
who it
Jalal
came from.
Yunus? Where is Jalal Yunus?
Yeah,
uh, I'm actually happy Afghanistan's named three reserves because it gives you a picture of the guys who are still in contention if someone gets injured, and it also tells you the kind of players they're looking at to fill spots if someone does get injured. Because Karoti, like we talked about earlier in many episodes of Jaa Taa or even our Facebook lives, was exceptional bowler, really, really, really good bowler. So really good to see that he kind of covers that spinner backup, I think, and then Darvish Rasuli kind of gives you that top order batter backup with his very limited experience, I would say, in the recent past. Bilal Sami, you guys know a lot about Bilal Sami? Don't know a lot about Bilal Sami.
Bilal Sami, I think he played in the test versus Zimbabwe, but
Okay.
not seen too much of him.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Afghanistan's chances of progressing, given that they are playing in Pakistan? I think
It depends on the pitches, to be honest.
if it's a
If they
road, I
get
don't think
spin,
they'll be able to compete with teams like
I
Australia
agree,
and England.
completely agree. Road, they
no.
won't be able to do
And
anything.
road, no chance. Spin friendly wickets, yes.
I think sprint friendly weekends they might get a hold of teams like England and South Africa,
England and
especially, and South Africa. And South Africa, we all know it's not the skill, it's hair. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. And
No, but
and
Fatir, one
yeah,
concern we addressed in a previous video was Ibrahim Zadran recently coming back from that ACL tear. He has struggled, or he hasn't had that level of exposure yet. He hasn't looked as comfortable yet. Given how important the opening pair is for Afghanistan, will that be a big concern?
I would almost say they might be pressed to start with Sadiqullah Tab and Ramanullah Gurbaz. They might just be inclined to do that because they've looked at Ibrahim Zadran in the BPL, I'm pretty sure. Now is he at the ILT20 now, or is he at
So
SA20? No,
hard to
not
keep.
SC20, but
I
it's
think
so
I'll
hard to keep
T20.
up. Might be at ILT20. But anyways, yeah, like you said, he hasn't looked all that comfortable, and it's not easy coming back from an ACL ankle, both of them injured at the same time. But yeah, I think they'll still have him in the squad because if someone's not doing well, yeah, he's at the ILT20. But yeah, if someone's not really setting the stage alight and something like that, he might come in as like the replacement. But I would say Sadiqullah has not done anything wrong since the emerging Asia Cup, right? When he came to light, and he's actually done quite well since that. So I would be more inclined to kind of start with those, and then you have your Rahmat Shah, Hashmatullah to follow.
Shagor, standard sporting wicket. Let us assume that. What would be your bowling combination for Afghanistan?
Rashid Khan, Ghazanfar, Mohammad Nabi.
Mm.
So, not picking Noor Ahmad, picking Ghazanfar instead of him. And then Faruqi. So, I have one more room for a bowler because Nabi is an all rounder. So, he can bat number 6, 7. Omar Zai is there. Uh,
Maybe Naveed Sadran.
I would pick Farid Malik
Farid Malik.
because because of his wicketing ability and the left arm angle. So yeah,
And that's
two
6 solid
pieces.
bowling options without even playing
So
Gulbadin Naib. You can still sneak Gulbadin Naib in
yeah,
there
yeah,
and make
yeah,
it 7.
exactly, and make it 7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's excellent
this is
actually.
actually a very balanced and very experienced Afghanistan squad.
And that's why they did so well in the 2023 ODI World Cup. It was sort of a reflection of this squad.
Hmm.
Wait, Omarzai might bat at 3 actually. I just thought about this.
No, but I doubt that they would. Oh yeah, yeah, they might. They might actually. On a
If
good wicket,
Omarza
they
is
might.
batting
On a
at 3, Rahmat at 4, and Shahid at
Rahmat
5.
at 4 or Shahid at
No, no.
5,
If
they might
if
do that.
Omarzai bats at 3, I think Rahmat doesn't make the first 11.
Rahmat is the vice
Rahmat has
captain.
to be in the
If
squad.
He's the
if
vice
you're going to,
captain.
or there is another option we're forgetting. Rahmat does open sometimes.
Oh, he does
Ah,
open.
He
See,
does
that
open.
would be drastic. I think Rahmanullah, Gurbaz, and either Ibrahim Zadran or Sadiqullah, that's the opening pair. And then, Rahmat, Shahidi, Azmatullah,
Nabi.
Nabi.
That's more
Yeah,
standard.
yeah.
Ikram Ali Khan.
Ikram might not make the 11 in some cases because Gurbaz can keep, like, depends on
Oh,
the
yeah,
situation.
yeah,
If they need a
yeah.
bowler or something like that, so he might be a floating player.
But Ikram
Yeah,
has been
yeah.
very useful in ICC tournaments, both as a keeper and as a batter, and it kind of relieves a lot of
Throwback
pressure off of
2019. Throwback
Gurbaz.
2019.
Throwback 2019. It relieves a lot of pressure off Gurbaz, who is again a very good batter, very good keeper, but not having to juggle both those responsibilities in these big games, it kind of helps.
Plus, good outfielder too.
Good outfielder, very good outfielder.
So, you guys are saying Nabi, Rashid, Ghazanfar, Noor, Fazal, Farid,
Not
Malik.
Noor. We're saying
Not
not Noor.
Noor. Oh, not Noor.
Gazanfar, due to his form.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, word. No, I agree with that.
Like I
I
said,
can
it's
see
one of
that.
the more balanced teams, and like FK mentioned, one of the more balanced teams, and a team that pretty much selects itself at this point, playing
Very
starting 11,
balanced squad.
very
Like
balanced.
we talk about with Australia, like you can almost predict who's gonna play. This is pretty much similar, like with Afghanistan. You can predict who's gonna play. Where, like Shagor mentioned, you might have one or two spots that kind of rotate out and in, depending on like the conditions of the opposition you might be playing.
And Afghanistan will want to capitalize. If there are spin friendly conditions, Afghanistan will 100% want to capitalize on that because they're not getting that in the next ODI World Cup. So they would want to capitalize
Next,
it here at
South Africa and
South
Namibia.
Africa. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Valid
And
point.
Afghanistan, in the meantime, need to also develop their pace attack, which is pretty good so far. They need to keep
Hmm.
working on it so that it actually performs away from home because they don't want situation like 2019 ODI World Cup again, where the pace attack is completely toothless when it comes to
Also,
actual
yeah. Also, Afghanistan has a personal beef with Australia.
and
Due to some,
England actually. Same
now,
reason
now England, but Australia for sure.
for
So it
sure.
will be interesting. And they'll feel that they missed out last time in the World Cup.
The
Absolutely.
England one, man, the England and the Australia one literally happened within like 8 months, no? Crazy.
And they made up for the
Crazy.
Australia one technically in the T20 World Cup, but still,
T20 World Cup. Yeah, yeah,
again,
yeah.
the English squad, I don't know,
Thin, very thin,
thin, very thin.
Man,
very
Something
it
just
thin.
something just
seems
feels off.
I don't know what to make of this squad. Like, there's so many things going on at the same time.
I completely agree. Completely agree.
I don't know.
No, I think that's right. Like, there's no stability around England cricket's white ball setup. I think right now, it's very Rob Key likes this guy. Rob Key thinks this guy might do well, so Rob Key says, let's pick him." Kind of a situation. Jamie Overton is playing on the fact that he can finish the game in T20s, not even ODIs. Okay.
I was surprised to see him in the squad.
Will Jacks is dropped because they said he hasn't done enough. But then they picked Jamie Smith, who I don't think has even debuted in ODIs yet.
He has. He played one
Oh,
series
he
What
has.
against
about
Australia
Once,
where he
Jofra
pretty
once.
much
Archer?
just played cameos. He didn't even play solid innings. So
Jofra Archer? On what basis is he coming?
The X
reputation.
Factor reputation.
এটাই মানে
He picks himself. It's
after
kind of
he
that.
They
came,
literally, bro, they literally don't have a go-to opening pair. Like they have to play Salt and Duckett because they literally have
Yeah.
no other openers. What is
Oh,
going on?
Duckett. When's the last time Duckett played a ODI?
I
In a
don't know.
while. But he's always been in contention, sort of. But
Let me
again, he's
search
he's
this
never
up.
been as regular in ODIs or
Let
T20Is as he has in
me
tests.
England's way of selection is number one rule: can you play golf? Number two rule: are you a chill guy? Number three rule: okay, you're picked.
Why would you stop investing in Joe Root, the white ball player, just before
I
the
don't. I have
pandemic
no
or
idea.
during the pandemic, and then go back to him now? Why?
Absurd. Absurd.
Maybe a change in administration or what?
What
Yeah, it's probably a
administration,
bad
sir?
decision.
Oh, it might be a bad decision.
Bad
He's,
decision.
you know what it is? He said, "I'm gonna play most of my test squad
Because that's
because
who
now,
he is familiar with, right? That's the setup
now,
he
now,
likes.
now that I look at this lineup, except Livingston, Rashid, and Salt, it's all the test guys.
Oh, absolutely. And
Oh,
Livingston, Rashid, and Salt are the only non-test
once,
guys who actually made a good case for themselves.
yeah, yeah. Livingston, especially that series where he captained and he just did really well.
Salt got two half centuries in that series,
So yeah,
and Rashid is always there in the white ball
Lassie
setup.
is
So
always right there. So before his interesting.
Gus and Atkinson, Mark Wood. Do you guys see both of them making the 11?
Oh, Ben Duckett's actually played a lot of ODIs, especially that five-match series versus Australia. So he's played that five-match series. So he scored 100 in that again, and then 95 too. So
okay,
yeah, I guess
yeah, I
yeah.
completely
I was
forgot about his
I actually
performance in
forgot.
that series.
Man, there's too much cricket these days. Can't even remember. I don't even remember which ball.
Oh,
Okay,
who
okay,
are the
yeah.
actual spinners in this team? Adil Rashid is a proper spinner, and then Liam Livingston.
Liam
That's it.
Livingston, yeah,
And he's
that's it.
not
Jacob
even.
Bethel.
No,
Jacob
no. Jacob
Bethel.
Bethel will be killed in the pitches.
No, but
Get
Australia do actually struggle against
definitely.
left-arm spinners who they're not familiar with, so that might be an advantage for them.
But for that to happen, the damage might already have been done. Like by the time Bethel comes to ball, maybe 25 overs gone. You know what I mean? Like they'll
I
already have, yeah,
understand.
like Archer, Wood, Rashid, Sakib Mahmood already gone for plenty.
Yeah. And I think that they're
Yeah.
they're pretty excited about uh, what Sakib Mahmood is bringing for them right now, and they're probably very inclined to actually pick him, at least in the short term.
So
Thoughts?
with the bowling attack, it might be Archer, Sakib, Rashid, of
Mm,
course, and
mm-hmm.
one of Atkinson or Wood. It could be either of them, honestly. I think Atkinson, if it's a question of batting him at number 8, Atkinson does
Mm,
get the nod ahead of Wood, given that he has
mm-hmm.
proven himself with the bat.
Yeah,
Probably that. And
that
yeah,
that that, that that's a
Overton might
factor.
play as the number 7, actually. No.
No, valid. Yeah, that's a valid
Yeah,
point.
that's an advantage England have, that most of their players can bat well. Players as in like the bowlers. Gus Atkinson has, I think, Test century, and then Cars can bat. He
Can
showed
bat.
in the New Zealand Test series too. And then who else?
Overton
Rashid,
has become
Adil
unbeatable
Rashid.
number 7.
Adil Rashid has a few
Another
first class hundreds.
Thank you. Every time someone comes on commentary, they have to remind the whole crowd about the fact that Adil Rashid. Thanks, Shagor. Thanks. We had no idea that Adil Rashid has first
No,
class
no, I'm
hundred.
just looking at
None
the
of which,
names.
by the way, none of which has translated all that well in the international scene, so I don't think
It
it matters all
shouldn't,
that much.
I mean, it shouldn't come down to that, right? His bats at number 10. So,
Fact,
Huh.
fact. No, I
Every
yeah.
get it.
every time Adil Rashid comes out to bat and England are going through a collapse, Rashid rashes into the bat. You got a few first class hundreds, mind you.
And the next ball gone.
And the next ball freaking gone. Like, what is the point of mentioning that? Gus Atkinson has a freaking first class 100 too.
So, Sakib Mahmood or Bryden Cars? Who do you
I
want to
think right
see?
now they would want to be trying Sakib Mahmood. He's their hot investment right now in white ball
Yeah.
cricket.
Development contract, space bowling contract. They even made a category in their contract just for him a couple of years ago when he was injured. So it's their big investment that is finally fit and ready. So they're gonna invest it. Um, and then yeah, I think Wood, Mahmood, and Archer, right?
Archer will be
And
leading the pack.
yeah, and then Atkinson slash Overton maybe actually. Overton might get the nod because
I see
better
Overton as a number
batter.
7, to be honest,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's how they
better
used him
batter.
last time around. So I kind of see him being used
Yeah.
there.
Archer leading or Mark Wood leading?
Mark Wood may not even make the best 11. That's the concern here.
Harsh.
And Wood's form has been a bit hot and cold.
So as Archers, that's what I'm trying to say.
Fair.
Yeah. So Adil Rashid and Sakib Mahmood playing their home Champions Trophy.
That's why Sakib's not gotten his visa yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised Sakib was denied a visa, not denied, delayed a visa, but Adil Rashid had no issues.
I think Adil Rashid probably had a visa from before, maybe. Could be
Probably.
one of.
Maybe he was playing one of those Qaidi Azam trophies.
All right, our last two
What,
squads,
what did he
Australia and
what did
South
he change his
Africa.
what did he change his name to from Adil Rashid to what? From ADIL Rashid to ADEEL Rashid. Adil Rashid.
Adhil with an H.
Adil. Oh,
Adhil.
Adil. Adil.
Uh,
Yeah.
anyways, we got Australia going fairly standard.
Australia. Marcus Stoinis legit makes every squad. Even if he doesn't do anything, he will make a squad. Just on the fact that this guy literally wakes up. In tournaments, he wakes up. He's like, all right, now is my time to set the world alight.
And Zampa refuses to travel without him.
Without, yes.
They can't play without their lead spinner, so
No,
they have to
it's
include
like
him.
Zam's here in the squad. Congrats, mate. Cool. Thanks, George. Stoinis in too. Like that's it. That's the conversation. So,
So
uh,
Aaron Hardy, what do you guys think about him, his inclusion?
I think this is Australia's hot investment slash
That hasn't paid off
Cam
yet.
slash Cameron Green is not available slash Sean Abbott can't bat as good as Aaron Hardy. All of that combined, they've kind of gone for this guy because they're thinking, oh, we've invested so much or we've given so much into him. Might as well try to get something out of it if we can until at least Cameron Green comes back.
Okay,
Because
let's
there's a lot of hype, but I still haven't seen anything of substance.
yeah, let's take out 4 names or 5 names. I don't know how many player squad is this? 15?
15, 15.
Okay, let's take out the 4 names that we think might not make the 11. So I think Hardy, Matt Short.
Who you gonna open
Uh,
with?
wait,
Who you gonna open with?
uh,
First 11
Josh
batsmen.
English. He is also out.
No, but who are you opening with? You're
Who are
removing all
you
the
opening
openers.
with? You're
I know, I
removing
know.
all the
Wait,
batters.
Smith. I
We
can
know
open
Travis's head is good, but he can't open one from both sides. He needs a
Did
opening
Smith
partner.
say that he won't open at all?
Nah, Smith's not opening.
Just not
It's not
happening.
happening. Just not happening.
So I guess saying Matt Short is an automatic choice.
Travis Head and Matt Short. Given.
Unless they go for
Guaranteed.
English,
Unless
which is
they go
always an
for
option.
England. Yeah. But I think from what I think their 11 is gonna be Head, Short, Smith,
Labuschagne. Gabriel Labuschagne, man.
Marsh,
Labuschagne. No.
Marsh, English, 5,
Maxwell.
Maxwell, Hardy. I think that's what they're gonna go with.
You
I
didn't
would.
see any substance in Hardy, yet you're picking Hardy.
Oh no, sorry, not Hardy. Alex Carey. I don't see any substance in him, 100%. But they're investing in him, so they want to pick him.
I doubt that they'll pick two keepers in the playing 11
Oh, sorry.
unless they're opening with
sorry.
English.
I already picked English. So Maxwell and Stoinis. That's it. Sorry.
I
Yeah,
think they will play Hardy at 7 because there is
Oh,
no
yeah.
out and out number 7 in this squad.
Yeah.
They'll play 7 Hardy at 7.
So then that solves it.
Because if you have the pace trio that you do in terms of what
Hmm.
Australia have, you have Zampa, you have Maxwell contributing as the sixth bowler. It doesn't matter what your number seven does, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, and you also have I'm sorry, Travis Head if you need an extra spinner.
But what if Marsh opens?
It's not a bad call. It is not a bad call. It gives you an option, but short
The
also
thing
gives
is,
you that extra option.
Marsh is not in good form or not in any form. They've dropped him from the
Man,
Test 11
man,
and putting him to open. I don't think Marsh and Head opening
man,
is like, I don't see it happening.
But they
man. Listen
trust
to this.
Marsh a lot more in white ball cricket than they do in red ball cricket
Right.
in general.
Mitchell Marsh, 2023, 858 runs, high score of 177 not out.
Against
2024?
Bangladesh. So
2023,
4?
2024, they only played like 3 ODIs. Irrelevant.
Are
Doesn't count.
form, the form matters,
Okay,
right?
okay,
no, but he's not
2024.
playing. How can
He's
we
not
determine
playing.
his ODI form if he's not playing?
Why is
He's only
Yashasvi Jaiswal in the Indian squad? How many ODIs has he played in 2024?
no man, no man, no man.
That's a
I'm
different.
That's not
That's a
saying,
no man.
no,
completely different conversation. That's a
no,
different.
no. I'll say how it's related. Mitchell Marsh has been out of touch recently, and he hasn't seemed like himself. Even in the test, you can gauge how he's playing his shots and stuff. He's not confident. So what I'm saying is, even if he makes the 11 somehow, there's no chance he's opening the batting with Head. That's
No,
what
Okay,
I'm
fair.
trying to
that's
say.
yeah, that's
I
true.
don't think that's too far off. Honestly, I wouldn't play him. If I'm being honest, if I have to make my 11, it would probably be Matt Short head with Smith and Labuschagne at 3 and 4, kind of playing it safe. Carey at 5, Maxwell at 6, Hardy at 7. That would be my top 7. And the bowlers they select themselves, so I don't even have to comment on that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I just think they will want to pick Marsh because of if Marsh gets going, he'll score runs, especially in white ball cricket. After the power play, it doesn't really swing, etc. So that aspect is there, but I do understand that he's not in form, so they might be more inclined to just go Smith, Labuschagne, Carey / Inglis, Maxwell, and Hardy. Yeah.
But going by Marsh's ODI form, if we have to, 2023, especially the World Cup, Marsh looked most comfortable against teams particularly like Bangladesh and Pakistan, who were again who were struggling a bit towards that and back end of the tournament, or they were the
Yeah.
teams he favored more, and New Zealand,
সাগর তোর ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডটা বন্ধ কর পোষাইতেছে না
none of which are going to be playing in the same group as Australia. So maybe that's why March just doesn't start. Maybe if you want to think along those lines.
Yeah, yeah, I think Australia are very inclined to picking their squad kind of based on which team they're facing and what the historical results against those guys say. So you're right. It could come down to that 100%.
Enthusiastic man agrees with me.
This, like I said, this has been a conversation for years, but sometimes the numbers are there as to why they pick him because sometimes he just comes out and he does it. Like you might hate the guy, but the reality is he comes out and he does it at times, and you can't. Can you not deny those numbers? You can't deny those numbers. Like Test 2023, he averaged 50. 2024, he averaged 45.45 until the India series.
Mitchell Marsh, if you're watching this, you found a fanboy.
No, I'm 100% behind Mitchell Marsh in the fact that, bro, he's gone through so much, especially like from his own crowd, bro, at home. They said dad picks you when his dad isn't even the selector. Geoff Marsh was the selector, whatever. Or like Rod Marsh was the selector, sorry, whatever. Geoff Marsh is his dad. Rod Marsh was the selector.
Not much.
Freaking like so much. Like this guy's gone through it. This guy actually gets booed by the home crowd more than Little Das gets called Bua. I think Shakib Al Hasan gets called Bua more than freaking Litton Das gets called Bua. Whatever. So he's come across all of that and he's put up numbers. So you can't hate the guy, bro. You can hate them for selecting him for 10 years, sure. But can't hate his numbers.
Okay, for South Africa, who opens and who bats? Like, let's assume that what's his name, Rassi takes the number 3 spot. So
Mm.
who opens and who bats at 4?
Markram Bavuma.
So Dizorzi is not making the 11.
Maybe not.
I see Rickleton and Bavuma opening with Markram at 4.
Oh yes.
They go back to that
Rickleton.
route of trying to make Markram the middle order or top middle order batter,
Yes. Yeah.
because number 5 is a given.
Number
Klaassen
5 is a given. Klaassen.
selects
Yeah.
himself.
That like is
No doubt.
in
So where is
Klaassen Miller basically penciled in 5 and 6. Done. Stubbs.
If Bavuma plays, Stubbs doesn't make it. So again, is this the same old Bavuma becoming a liability situation?
But he's in good form. He's in good form.
He
Yeah.
was in good form in the last World Cup as well. It's just his bilateral form doesn't always translate well.
Yeah.
he's the captain? He's playing.
He's playing, yeah. That's a given at this point. I
No.
guess.
Rakim was asking, is he becoming a liability in terms of
Oh
the fact
no, I
that
think he's in
selection.
good form right now. So
Yeah.
and they have to include certain
Quota.
how do I put it? Yeah, certain players in the squad. So he's playing anyway.
Transformation targets.
Yeah, that's the one. So,
So Rickleton, Markram, Rassi, Bavuma, Miller. No, sorry, Klaassen, Miller. 5,
Actually,
6.
I wouldn't mind pushing Bavuma up to 3 and Rassi to 4 if that's the route they feel comfortable
Yeah.
with. I think that
Yeah.
4 is interchangeable pretty much. That top 4 is interchangeable. I would keep
think you can keep-
Dizorzi as a backup and not as a first choice opener.
Yeah, I think Rickleton basically stays as your opener, and then the other
He can keep as well if needed, if Klaassen doesn't
Yeah.
want to keep.
the other 3 you can kind of mix and match depending on the game. So, are you saying Mulder
As a
plays,
number
or
7.
Mulder doesn't play as a 7?
But I don't see any other number 7s, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's
I don't see any other number 7s.
Number
Mulder
7's too high for Jensen either.
Yeah. And too low for someone like Stubbs. You would expect him to bowl a lot of off spin if he's batting at 7.
Yeah.
So Mulder at 7. Yeah, Mulder is pretty much the only one. There is no Paflukayo this time.
No Peklukayo.
Peklukayo.
Years of Peklukayo.
Years of Paflukayo. It's kind of surprising, honestly. Like, again, they always back him, and this time around it might have actually been useful, but they decided not.
Maybe they have met their targets.
So is it Shamsi, Maharaj, and Giri?
No, man. No, wait. How many are you taking?
Rabada.
You have
No,
four
he's
spots
right.
left.
You can go 4 bowlers with Mulder at
Yeah,
7.
but then you're saying Rabada or Janssen. That's what I mean.
Oh, right. Yeah. I
You have to
forgot about
both.
Jansen.
Both are in terrific form.
Oh, acha, yes.
So
yes.
Either Maharaj or Shamsi is playing.
I think I would actually go with both spinners.
You
and
have to
play
pick both,
Jansen
and,
with them.
and you have to play Jansen at 7 then. Or
So it's a
put Maharaj
very,
at
very
Or
tough
you can
long take.
still play Jansen at 8 and have this pace attack be Rabada, Jansen, and Mulder. That's very risky. You're thinning it.
That's risky.
You're thinning it
but
out,
yeah,
but
it's
it can
doable.
work on spin-friendly wickets. Shamsi and Maharaj
Wait,
together,
they actually have spot for one more player, no?
they don't.
Why? Nokia got injured.
Oh, you're right. They selected 1,
1,
2, 3,
2,
4,
3,
5,
4,
6,
5,
7,
6,
8,
7.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, you're right.
14. Yeah, they have one more player.
They have one more spot.
Yeah,
Nokia, I'm sorry, I like the guy, but they need to stop. Everyone needs to stop selecting him at this point.
So Notia, he is injured. So his replacement
Always.
his replacement Gerald Corzi. He is also injured. Yeah.
Cody
Uh,
Yusuf,
w-
bring in my guy Cody Yusuf, Power
no,
Royals.
watch them bring Faflukayo back in.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Wha-
Fekluka will be back somehow, some way.
Somewhere. He's always there.
Even if he's not playing ODIs whole year, he'll be in the Champions Trophy or the World Cup squad somehow.
He was completely out of the scene before 2023 World Cup, and he just came back in out of nowhere. He's always there.
Yeah. At least guys
Fekluka, the
fit,
legend.
fit to come back into the
Oh yeah, absolutely,
squad
absolutely,
anytime.
absolutely. Oh, there is another name. It's very unlikely that he makes the Champions Trophy
George
15, but he
Linde.
no. He made
Pacer,
his ODI debut recently. We are familiar with him because of the
Corbin
G20. Corbin
Bosch.
Bosch.
Boshi.
left field pick.
Bring in my guy Bosch right now. No, that's actually a good point. That's actually a good point.
Yeah, Bosch can bat at 7 though. Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
can be a genuine 10 overs bowler any day. So yeah.
they
And he
might
balls
be.
in
They
40,
might be
140
inclined.
Ks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he bowls 140s. They might actually be inclined to do that, to be honest, now that I think about it. Just recent form has been around the international setup. Not someone that you need to kind of warm into the setup either. So, yeah. Good point. Good point.
Otherwise, going by this 14, if they want to strengthen their pace attack to begin the tournament, especially early on, you expect sporting wickets, you expect the wickets to not be as spin friendly. Uh, they will have to thin their batting a bit, play Jansen at 7, which we've seen before is a risky move. But Jansen at 7, Maharaj at 8, both these guys can bat,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they'll have to manage with that.
And
Rabada at 9,
you'll just have to hope that your top five just dig in and do exceptionally well so that you're only really relying on Jansen and Maharaj at max in the last 10, right? So
because
if
otherwise,
that's
that's an
the
excellent top 6. If you look at the batting and we forget what comes after that, you look at that top 6, that's an excellent, excellent top 6.
yeah. So no, valid points.
Are we left with any other
Uh
team? No, we're done. Because
Pakistan.
Pakistan haven't declared
Pakistan
yet.
has
So
Any thoughts?
I think they're waiting on Sam Ayub's recovery or whether he will recover or not. I think they're waiting for an update
Highly
on that.
unlikely.
I
And
think
they'll miss out. They really miss out on him.
Pakistan squad is gonna be Shan Masood making a comeback in place of Sam Ayub.
They have
I
to
see.
pick Fakhar Zaman now. They just
They
have to.
have
Yeah,
to. They have to.
Pakar publicly declared he's gonna be in that ODI squad or something coming up in the ODI series and
In
Champions
South
Trophy,
Asia, none of that matters.
None of that matters.
especially Pakistan.
Pakistan
In
is a
Pakistan,
Especially
absolute cinema.
Pakistan.
yeah.
Always.
Some guy retired 24 hours earlier and then revoked his
Oh,
retirement statement.
Isanullah.
Yeah, I
Isanullah
don't
said,
know what
I'm
the
never
hell. No
gonna
one
play
even
in
cares if
Bangladesh.
he retired or not.
And he's 22. Like if that guy is 22, then I am 12.
I am not born yet.
That's
Oh
22
man.
years old. Isanullah's only 22. It's like when they say Bahir Shah is 21 or something, 22, 21, something like that. And you look at a picture of Bahir Shah when he plays for Afghanistan, looks like a solid 30-year-old guy. Like you can,
Man, you should have seen some of the players who made their debut for Afghanistan versus Zimbabwe. Like their ages listed at 23, 22. They look like 35-year-olds.
that's so funny.
Four semifinalists. My four semifinalists would probably be India, Pakistan, South Africa, Afghanistan.
Shagor,
India, Pakistan, uh, Australia, and the fourth one, I would like South Africa to go through, but I have a feeling Afghanistan will trump South Africa. So Australia and South Africa.
I think India, Pakistan, South Africa, Australia.
That last bit, of
I
Australia.
wanna say Afghanistan, but I just feel like
Australian ICC tournaments. Never write them
yeah,
off.
it's just Australia and ICC tournaments, and yeah, like Afghanistan, exceptional team. They're better than Bangladesh, 110%. They're better than probably New Zealand's current form too. I
But
think they just
technically,
ended
that
up,
doesn't matter because they're not in
yeah,
a different group.
they just ended up in the wrong group, I think. If they ended up in the other group, I would have actually said that there might be a chance to beat Pakistan, and then they probably would have, like if it was India, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and say Bangladesh or something like that, I would have said they're probably going through.
And in that case, funnily enough, I think New Zealand would have also fancied their chances against both
Yeah,
Australia and England.
because and England, exactly. Yeah. So yeah,
It'd be very funny. Group A
they
being an
just
all
didn't want
Asian group,
they didn't want to make it a Asia Cup
Asia
versus
Cup. It is a
al-
semi-Asia
al-
Cup with the.
although the freaking whole schedule is basically fixed and freaking corrupted by if India goes to the final, if India goes to the next round.
No, it is a pseudo Asia Cup with our friends from the Far East.
Yeah. But yeah, no.
I think that's pretty much it. And
February 12th
February 12th.
opening game.
Opening India Bangladesh.
Yeah, India Bangladesh.
Can I say that the opening game they should have had one of those games in Lahore or Multan be one of the opening games.
Opening game is 19th February,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pakistan and New Zealand.
Okay, that's good.
Oh,
And then,
19th February.
yeah, 20 is India Bangladesh. Big
Okay.
match.
19th February.
Oh, big match.
Where is that? Which city?
Karachi.
Karachi. Okay, good. Having the opening game in Pakistan just feels better, feels right at this
Yeah.
point. Second game in the UAE. Yeah, that's fair. All right, boys, that's pretty much it. We've pretty much discussed what we had to with all what 7 squads that have been announced, and we're still going to wait on Pakistan. And I think we're fairly confident that Pakistan will make it to the top 4, but I don't think Pakistan fans are going to be as confident, especially
As
with
confident,
Sam
yeah,
Ayub
yeah.
missing out. I don't think they'll be as confident. So,
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let's see.
At least they have a ready-made lefty opener in the ranks to replace Sam
they have
Ayub.
multiple ready-made lefty openers. Imam
I may,
Fakar Zaman.
yeah, Fakar Zaman is what I was trying to say. Yeah, hopefully Bangladesh also will be able to do some good performances, even if they can't make it past the group stage.
Honestly, Bangladesh at this point, if they lose to New Zealand aren't a bad side, but if they lose to New Zealand, they should be cursing themselves because they have a very good chance of winning that game, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
And Afghanistan will not want to come back from this without a win. Like they should make the top 4, but they shouldn't accept anything less than at least one win against the big dogs they've been paired up with. That's about it. Kibriya, what's worrying you so much? Why are you making that face?
Just read up about one of Shakib's many money laundering schemes on one of our group chats. So I
Can
was
we
like, oh,
can we be happy about the fact that we discussed Bangladesh's squad and Shakib did not come up in the discussion?
that's 100%. Like, I'm actually glad. Like, thank God, bro. I'm like tired of that discussion because that
What's the
discussion
point of going back to that
yeah,
discussion again and again?
there is no
What purpose
point,
does it
and
serve anymore?
it has no substance, no validity, nothing at all. And even though Shabir Hossain Shagor is the biggest Shakibian alive, reality is his career is
reality is I'm a realist. So,
Shagor is a realist. Shagor doesn't do excess fanboying when it comes to these sort of situations,
like the others.
like the others.
Hashtag.
I have seen comments like
hashtag
"Dorkar hole
Bhagavad.
দরকার হলে দেশ বাদ দিয়ে দিব কিন্তু সাকিবকে খেলায় দেখতে চাই মানে
খেলায়
what are these comments man?
what are and some people even send one word Shakib messages.
এভাবেও কামব্যাক করা যায়।
এভাবেও কামব্যাক করা যায়।
Bro, we got an angry text in our DMs. I don't know if Ardin remembers from a few months ago, calling us Shakib's dalal, which in English means we're Shakib's
Oh, yes.
agents. We're,
Yes.
I mean, I don't know why anyone would call us that. We've been criticizing him non-stop since July, but okay. I don't know what else we're supposed to do.
Honestly, when anyone calls us a dalal / agent of any of Bangladesh's ex-Fab Five,
Forget X
funny,
55 any player in general.
any player, we are the most outspoken / most critical about these guys out there. And even if someone literally gets a red ink for themselves to save their career, we'll be like, freaking guy didn't play for the team. Right? Like we'll point it out. We don't care. Like so to say that we're freaking dalals or someone is freaking jokes. But yeah, it is what it is.
All right, boys. Again, thank you very much. This has been a wonderful discussion. Again, productive
Yes,
use of
lads.
our 2 hours.
No, thank you, boys. Good chat, and
Hope to be
yeah,
back
I
next
mean,
week.
yes, sir. We
Yeah.
shall be.
See ya.
Maybe we make Saturday mornings a thing now. Who knows?
Let's not make those promises again. Let's
No,
not.
I'm not making a promise. I'm just saying I'm floating it up there.
Let's
I'm
try to
down.
do once a week regularly. That's what we
Regularly,
should
Yes,
that's
promise.
it.
that's
Yeah.
that's that. Yeah.
I would
Alright.
still propose Sunday if it works for you guys from the next week onwards, but everything else is Gucci.
Alright, sounds good, lads. Talk to you soon.
Peace.
Peace.
Kibriya,